Today, we're going to walk through a story about a modern day betrayal, one that was pieced together bit by bit through a hidden digital trail. It's an incredibly personal story about how a marriage built over years came apart, and it all starts with a very honest, very vulnerable plea. These are the first words from the person whose life we're talking about today, and you can just feel the weight in them, right? It's a raw, difficult place to begin, and it really sets the stage for a journey into suspicion, discovery, and a truth that just won't stay put. So, to really get why this all hit so hard, you have to understand the foundation. This wasn't some new relationship. This was a whole life they had built together. 15 years. Think about that. They were high school sweethearts. That's a shared history, you know? A whole library of memories and inside jokes, and a trust that had been growing for more than a decade. That's what was on the line here. But that solid foundation, it started to get some cracks. Sometime around early 2023, these small, subtle shifts in his behavior began to pop up. Nothing huge at first, but it was enough to create this quiet, nagging feeling that something was off. And here are those little things. On their own, you might brush them off, right? Hiding his phone under the pillow, taking it with him absolutely everywhere, even to the bathroom for long stretches of time. But then came the defensiveness when she'd ask to see it. Altogether, these weren't just quirks anymore. They were red flags, building a wall of secrecy. And this was his go-to response. It's a classic move, really. Instead of just answering the question, he flips the whole thing around. He accuses her of being suspicious, making her feel like she's the one in the wrong for even asking. It's a powerful way to shut down a conversation. But that constant deflection, it didn't make the gut feeling go away. If anything, it made it stronger. So that unease turned into a reluctant investigation, a search for answers by following the digital breadcrumbs he was leaving behind. And as you can see here, this discovery wasn't a single gotcha moment. It was a slow, painful unraveling that took over a year. It starts with that gut feeling about the phone, then a weird message pops up, then the archive is found, and it just keeps going. Each one of these dates is another piece of the puzzle locking into place. The investigation itself was pretty methodical, actually. First, she noticed he was searching for the same woman's name over and over. That led her to check the phone bill, looking for actual data. And on that bill, she found a recurring number that led to a pretty significant discovery. So, what's a VoIP number? Well, it's not like your normal cell number. It's basically a virtual number, a ghost number. It isn't tied to a physical phone. People use them for privacy, sure, but they're also a perfect tool for hiding what you're doing. Finding this meant he wasn't just casually talking to someone. He was using a deliberately hidden channel to do it. Even with all these clues piling up, there was still that tiny sliver of deniability, that little voice that says, maybe I'm wrong. But then, a completely mundane, everyday accident happened, and it was about to blow the whole thing wide open. That's it. His phone just broke. A simple, everyday problem that, in this specific case, turned out to be the key that unlocked a secret world he had built so carefully. This is the moment, the turning point, the instant that suspicion hardens into certainty. While she was helping him restore his accounts on a new phone, she clicked on an archived folder. And there it was. Everything she had feared was true. And this is what she found. The absolute proof. Messages to that same woman. And not just casual chat. He was telling her he missed her. And interestingly, her replies seemed confused almost, suggesting he was pushing a connection even she wasn't fully on board with. But there it was. Confirmation of a hidden relationship. You'd think that finding out would be the end of the story, right? But it was really just the beginning of a whole new, much more confusing chapter. Because once the secret was out, two completely different versions of that secret came out with it. This is the story the other woman told when she eventually got in touch. This wasn't just some fling, according to her. This was a future. He had made promises about leaving his wife, getting married, and had said point blank that he loved her. And here is the impossible conflict, laid out side by side. The story he told the other woman versus the story he's telling his wife now. To one, he says, I love you. To the other, I never loved her. I'm leaving my wife becomes, it was all a lie. A future together becomes, I just wanted to get what I wanted. Both of these stories simply cannot be true. So this brings us to what's really at the heart of all this pain. The physical affair, that's one thing. But the psychological knot that it leaves behind, that's something else entirely. It's no longer about what he did, but why he did it. What was his real intent? And this is what it all boils down to. The deepest cut wasn't the act itself. It was the emotional betrayal, the intricate web of lies, and the haunting idea that the connection he had with someone else might have actually been real. That's the part that truly shatters a 15-year foundation. And so, we're left with this question just hanging in the air. Who was he really? A man who fell in love with someone else and lied to his wife about it? Or a man who felt nothing at all and expertly lied to another woman just to use her? When you don't even know which lie was the real one, how do you ever figure out what was true?